welcome to the warm-up. Here we are in our new time slot of Thursday 6 p.m. I'm Stu Wakeford, that over there is Karleigh Osborne, he's Marcus Gale. There's no international break for another 4 months, so let's go, and this is what we've got coming up for you on today's show. Our search for an E-Premier League player continues, so Luke played Vitaly to see if one of them's got what it takes. Spoiler alert, Vita's pretty good, and he scored probably one of the best goals you'll ever see on FIFA.
Oh, there's going to be 3. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's my day. And then I played.
You're so calm. You just scored like a worldy goal. That would have been like goal of the month on FIFA.
You have to press L2 on this one.
We're back in Premier League action Saturday, so Talia grabbed Newcastle fan and Idols bassist Dev to see how the Magpies fans are feeling ahead of the game.
If we could just get some stability in the squad, get everyone playing, get everyone's confidence back, I think that's the main thing.
Plus, we'll take a deeper look at what we can expect ahead of Eddie Howe's first game in charge of our opponents. Right, great show. Let's get into it, lads. Look, we can't escape that, yes, we have lost 4 games in a row, but we said, look, we've had a little bit of a break, so we come here today all with one positive thing, right? I'll kick it off. My positive thing that we should feel positive about is we saw in the middle of the week in that international break, Shandon Baptiste making his first start, coming back from injury against Luton. Look, we don't know how fit Shandon is, whether he can start tomorrow, but it's a good promising sign. So I'll tell you why I think that is massive. And what I really love about Shandon Baptiste is he's a ball carrier. And that's maybe something that we've maybe not had so much since Josh got injured. Marcus, why is it so good when you've got a centre midfielder who can carry the ball like those?
Well, he commits the opposition into making a challenge. He's drawing people to him. He's breaking the lines of defence as well. And once you do that, you can slip the ball into someone in a more advanced position to create a chance to try and score. So it's vital that we have someone in that midfield that can travel the distance with the ball. Whether it is 10, 15 yards, it's going to make a big difference.
And Karleigh, we've only unfortunately been able to see glimpses of Shandon, but what excites you about him other than that?
I think obviously that excites me naturally, it's going to, but also he has the presence of mind to know when to lay it off or switch his game up and just play some cute passes in and around the midfield. So I think he has a really good all-round game, and I'm looking forward to hopefully, once he does get back, seeing a lot more of that.
Exactly. So look, right, that was my one. Karleigh, what have you come with?
Well, listen, we're having a bit of a bad time at this moment in time, but we've had the international break and we've got plenty of time to get points on the board, and I think we will. So that's what I'm being positive about. We've got time on our side.
Do you think so? It's one of those ones that it's very easy to go, right, 4 games and catastrophise, and we're 11 games into a season, right? We've got a long way to go. With that in mind then, there's a lot of games in this Christmas period. How tough are those runs as players?
Yeah, they're very tough. You know, it's the Christmas period, games come thick and fast. Obviously the pitches start to change and things like that. But I think, you know, with the break, I'm sure Thomas would have been working hard on certain things. We'll be getting players back over that period of time as well. So I think we'll be in a good place, and I know that we're ready to kind of do what needs to be done. On
the flip side, is that an opportunity to get some momentum again? If you've got those games coming thick and fast.
Yeah, for sure. Back-to-back games, you want that as well. When you kind of, you know, when you're trying to change things around, you want those games to keep coming so you can try and build some momentum and get moving forward. So the players will be looking forward to that.
Right, that's 2 big things to be positive about. Marcus, come on, get the hat trick.
My one, I would like to say that, you know, with what we've seen so far, the start of this season was brilliant, it's fantastic. We know that we can compete at this level, scare the big boys to bits. And we're very competitive. We're scoring goals, or we were scoring goals. We will get back to that. We're now finding that difficult period of the season where, you know, we're over that honeymoon period. It's all joyous, winning matches, entertaining the fans. You know, we've got into a little rut, but we're going to come out of that rut. So I'm more encouraged with having that international break, giving players a chance to recover, recharge the batteries, and that's the head coach as well. An opportunity for him to kind of clear his head and come back fresher and you know, getting the boys back on track.
Well, look, loads of things to be positive, and hopefully we can get back to winning ways at the weekend. We'll be looking at how we think maybe Eddie Howe could be lining up with his Newcastle side a little bit later. But for now, like we say, we are on the search for our first ever eSports Premier League player on FIFA. And this week, Luke threw his hat into the ring, going up against Vitaly Janelt. I tell you what, he had a terrible time.
Charlie, thanks for joining me. thought as we're looking for our new esports Premier League player, we'd have a little game. We've gone internationals, England, Germany. I've heard you're pretty good at this.
That's okay. But why I can't change like, I changed the formation like 4-2-3-1.
That one.
Now.
Now you can change.
How many times you play FIFA? Yeah.
A few times now.
I have to do this.
You were saying how much you play FIFA. You're there putting all your players to stay back whilst attacking and Timo Werner to get in behind.
I have to do this, sorry my friend.
Here we go then.
Let's go.
Wembley Stadium.
It's the same stadium we promote in the Premier League. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to me about that day, because I think as a kid, everyone wants to play at Wembley.
Yeah, 100%.
How good was that day for you?
Yeah, I still can't believe it that we play in the Premier League.
Yeah, madness, isn't it?
Yeah, I swear.
And that day in them celebrations, I know you had to fly off for the under 21 Euros, but did you still have a nice little bit of partying going on?
Yeah, I think it was here in the stadium, huh?
Yeah. Long night for you, or were you just
not
too heavy?
Not too heavy, I think I go to bed at what time?
Look at you busting out these skill moves.
Oh
my God.
No, like 1, 2 o'clock.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah, because I have to go on to the...
Here we go. Oh,
watch now.
That pace. Foul?
Of course not.
No. You're pretty good at FIFA Ultimate Team, because I remember last year you told me that you managed to get 30 wins in a weekend league, which, if you're not aware of, is pretty good. Oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I think I was 156, 65
in the world.
65 in the world in this, but only this weekend, huh?
That's like, people don't understand how difficult that is to get that many wins in a weekend.
No, that's crazy serious. Normally only the esports do this.
Yeah, so basically you could be our esports player as well as our centre mid, no?
No, maybe.
How did you manage to play them 30 games in a weekend? So were you playing Saturday?
Yeah, I play normally every Sunday my whole games.
Oh no. Oh no, here we go.
Here we go. Timo Werner. Yeah, so I start to play Friday, but only, how many games? Maximum 5 normally.
Yeah.
I'm scared to lose. Yeah, I play maximum 10 days on the whole Friday and Saturday. And then I play, I don't know, wake up, maybe with training, maybe not, and breakfast, and then I start straight in the weekend league.
I love it.
I don't do one warm-up game or...
Just straight in?
Yeah, straight in.
Oh mate, it looks like you've been warming up today. My God. Yeah. I'm getting torn apart here. Do you play a lot of video games growing up? If you're pretty good, or is it just something that comes naturally to you?
Yeah, I think it's like FIFA, Warzone.
Yeah, yeah.
Play a lot Warzone with Brian. Brian is the best in Warzone.
Is Brian just the best gamer at the club because...
In Warzone?
Just at Warzone FIFA? Because Ivan thinks he's better at FIFA than you and Brian.
I don't think he's better than me.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
what he said when you guys had your faces scanned for FIFA.
Is he crazy? Nah, I don't think he's better than me in FIFA, no chance. But he's better than Warzone.
So do you guys, like, if you get home from training, do you all jump on the PlayStation and play video games, or?
Brian, Rico, I think maybe they sleep 1 hour like this.
Nice.
But normally they play a lot. I play a lot as well, but I have to spend time with my missus, huh?
Yeah.
So
yeah, likewise, mate.
I can't go home after a training session and go straight on the PlayStation.
If she goes to sleep early though, just jump on for a couple of hours and you're sorted.
Yeah. No, I think my normal day is like training, go home, we eat together. I sleep maybe half an hour, depends.
Power nap.
Yeah. And then we go for a walk, like 1 hour.
Do you have a dog? Do you walk a dog?
No.
No?
Alone. Take a coffee, hot chocolate like this. Then, because I live next to the stadium.
Okay.
And normally we go every day to Chiswick.
Yeah.
Yeah. We walk to Chiswick.
Oh, lovely.
Take a coffee.
What's that?
Yeah. And go home. Then we go in the supermarket. And we buy what we eat in this day. And
there's going to be 3. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's my day. And then I play.
You're so calm. You just scored like a worldy goal. That would win like goal of the month from FIFA.
You have to press L2 on this one if you get a high ball.
Ramsdale the other day making his England debut.
Yeah.
And that worldy save he pulled off against Leicester the other week.
Oh, the free kick.
Here we go. Sterling's in it.
The free kick was unbelievable.
Unbelievable save, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, that's half time. I feel like I've been torn apart there. And you're just so casual.
Nah, it's okay.
Look, I've got.
We're
We're in the room with some analysis guys here. I've had 1 shot and I've got 1 expected goal. I think that's pretty good compared to your 8. So Newcastle at the weekend, tough game. Obviously they've got their new manager in charge. Are you guys expecting it to be a tough game when you turn off the centre?
Yeah, 100%. Maybe it's better for them that they have a new one. Maybe it's worse because they need a bit time. So at the end we will see how.
No. He skill moves. You are taking the mic. Can you put that corner where you want? Right. Oh my god. I can't get the ball. So how are you and the guys going to like deal with that atmosphere and stuff when you walk out of St James's Park? Because that place I imagine is going to be rocking like it was when they played Tottenham a few weeks back and they just had their
Yeah, I
takeover.
heard they have a nice crowd, huh? And
Yeah.
nice fans.
Noisy fans.
Really?
Noisy, passionate fans.
But I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thrive of that.
I like when the
noise.
people are against us.
And also we're going to be backed by a few thousand fans coming up from
Brentford, yeah?
here, yeah. So
It's a lot.
It should be a great atmosphere. Oh no.
Stop it. Hey, I know it.
Look, what is that? That's Jack Grealish doing that touch.
That's 120 millions.
Turner's quick.
Hey.
Oh no, he's done it. Here we go. What a tackle. Why is Phil Foden back there?
Risky,
I don't
huh?
know. What do you make of your FIFA stats this year? Because, to be honest, mate, I think they're a little bit harsh on you.
Yeah, I think I have a rare silver card, like 73.
What do you feel like you should be?
I think it's fine.
Frank Onyeka's got a big card now.
Oh yeah.
Got a massive upgrade.
He pays us 87 for a midfielder. That's crazy in FIFA.
Go then. I don't think I've even come close. This is easy for you. Here we go then. Oh my god.
Oh, I do it so many times, but
Well,
I
just
got
bring the
so many
keeper out.
goals. Yeah, sometimes too early.
Oh, you're literally taking a mick here. I can't get the ball. Would you fancy your chances against a proper professional FIFA player?
Sorry?
You'd fancy your chances against them?
I have one friend. He's the World Cup winner. 2000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's still the World Cup, the last World Cup winner because of COVID.
Is that how you learn all your tricks?
Nah, but
Doing all
I
the-
play sometimes with him.
Go on then, cut him.
And
He's just sealed it. Look at that. Gnabry, easy.
yeah, he's very good.
How would you rate me on FIFA so far?
You?
Because you know what, right? I actually think I'm pretty good.
Serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. How many times you play?
A few times a week.
Like 3, 4
I got
times?
like 23 wins in weekend league.
Really?
Yeah. Back
Really?
in the day when there was 30 games.
Okay.
Mate, it just means you're an unreal FIFA player. I think you should look at doing this. Become a streamer or something. Have you
think
thought about doing that?
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm
Because
not.
I know Brian streamed Warzone, didn't he, on Twitch for a bit?
Yeah, both. FIFA as well
Oh, really?
last year, but he did it
Didn't fancy joining him?
4 or 5 times and then he stops. And I think I'm the same. Maybe I do it 1, 2 times.
Yeah.
That's it. So
We never, mate. You could be in our next Premier League player.
yeah, maybe
I think on that performance,
a new half part-time job. So
yeah, why
Why
not? Mate, thanks so much for joining me.
thank you.
Right now, we're in a part of the stadium that you may have seen if you're sat in the family stand. We've got tactics boards for the kids and adults on a match day where you can come and pick your lineup. So we thought Coach Karleigh could give us a little bit of a lowdown on our opposition on Saturday, and in particular Eddie Howe's Bournemouth side, so we get a bit of an idea of what we can expect with his Newcastle side. So right, Karleigh, obviously this is a bit of the unknown, but how did he used to set up with Bournemouth?
So at Bournemouth, he's particularly known for playing his kind of 4-4-2 formation, or 4-4-1-1. So we'll just move that there. Typically, he always has one that plays a little bit deeper than the other, and obviously the man up top plays higher, trying to build from that. So he's typically like that, 4-4-2 or the 4-4-1-1. Always wants his team to be kind of aggressive in terms of off the ball with their press, things like that. They, that's something he's known for, but at the same time, his attacking style of football. On the other side of it, when he has the ball, it almost flips into a 4-2-4. Whereas wingers go higher, and obviously they try and dominate in those areas and pin people back. That's what he's typically known for.
And was it kind of a case with him is they accepted they'd concede, but they looked to outscore, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think his brand of football is attacking football, so I think they'd accept that they're going to leak a few goals at times and things like that, but their aim was to try and score as many goals as they can. And in fairness to him, he was very successful at Bournemouth, so it'll be interesting to see if he goes that way at Newcastle.
Well, let's have a look then. Like you say, it'd be interesting to see if he does go that way with Newcastle. You've kind of put what you think he could do on Saturday against us with this kind of Newcastle lineup. Talk us through how you think they could potentially line up then, because obviously there's a few familiar faces for him. Yeah,
there is a few familiar faces. Obviously you've got Matt Ritchie. I think he comes back in that kind of left back role. I think Fraser, if he's fit, I think he comes back in for him. Obviously you've got Callum Wilson as well. I'm sure he'll be over the moon that Eddie Howe is managing him again, and because he scored a lot of goals at Bournemouth.
Why did he do so well, do you think, under Howe? Is it because of the way the service he would receive? Right?
Yeah, I think it was. I think the service he received, obviously we said about at Bournemouth, I think if you've got these two coming high and delivering crosses, Bournemouth are very good at that. Delivering crosses or cutting inside and driving inside and feeding into the front man from there. So he had a lot of opportunities that was created for him. So I think that will be really interesting. I think the biggest thing is where he will use Saint-Maximin and how he gets the best out of him. I think he might try and bring him in and almost give him that kind of, that if they go 4-4-1-1, give him that kind of free role to kind of do what he needs to do, get on it in those pockets, but also be the one that maybe runs in beyond Callum as they try and build something and play through that way. So that will be a really interesting one. But I think he'll go similar to what he's done at Bournemouth, just because that's kind of been his way.
Yeah.
And it's whether or not he feels he can kind of use the players that are there to do that.
Marcus, you're looking at this. Mm-hmm. Bringing you in here, sorry mate, left you out cold a little bit. Where do you think, so say they've got this formation, where would you be looking to then for us to kind of exploit here?
Oh, down the flanks as normal. We've got two very good centre forwards that have caused a lot of problems with the movement that we've seen all season. So it's about exploiting the gaps that Newcastle that have to come forward at playing at home. The crowd's going to demand that team goes forward, and I think with them going forward, it's going to create some more gaps for us to try and exploit. So looking forward to Brian and
is that what you'd want? Kind of go one-on-one against these two?
If you can go one-on-one, that's a blessing there. Because I would back our front two against them. They've come across the likes of Van Dijk and Matip, and they've held their own, more than held their own.
So it's a case of, right, don't let him get on the ball, don't let him impact the game, don't let them get this ball wide to get those crosses into Wilson, right? That's where we stop the game, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I think a lot of his work will be done kind of just in front of him, screening it. Because what you don't want is you don't want him sitting there next to him and we end up losing it and it becomes a 2v2 in the middle. I think we can dominate in the middle there. So if his main job will be from the communication from the defence to have him screening, trying to shut those passes off, cut the lines off. And then of course it's about occupying these wide players and trying to keep them going the other way rather than coming towards us.
So that's the job of what, Rico?
Yeah, Rico.
And where's Sergi? Sergi in here.
And Sergi, yeah. Which I think this could be a very good game for these two. Because I think they could, especially if Saint-Maximin plays out wide, I think we could get a lot of joy here because he'll want to do that. He'll want to go forward all the time. And I think, with the three, we've got that kind of cover there and we've got a little bit of safety there. And I think it gives Rico a chance to really go and dominate here and us to create a lot of 2v1 situations in this type of area. And also with our midfield, I think we have a chance to dominate because what will happen if Rico is getting a lot of joy here, one of these centre midfielders are going to have to come out because if Maximin's not doing his job and getting back, one of these is going to have to come out, which then will allow us again, you're almost 3v1 in there when we're on the ball. So that's where I think Newcastle's biggest problems will be, and that's, I'd imagine, is what Eddie Howe will be thinking about, how he's going to try and combat that, because if we do dominate in here, and like I said, end up, again, I think it will be more this side, depending on where St Maximin plays, I think we could cause Newcastle a lot of problems.
Love that. Well, look, that's what the boys think is going to happen on Saturday, but what do the opposition feel about Saturday's game? Talia sat down with Idols bassist Dev to find out just that.
Right, Dev, hello. Thank you for joining me. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good, thank you, really good. Before we get into any football chat, I should mention that we do have one thing in common that you probably didn't know.
Okay.
To do with the Southwest. I live very, very close to Devon. Just over the border, and I can recognise the accent a mile off. So how on earth have you ended up being a Newcastle fan from there?
Well, you know when you're like 8, 9 years old and everyone's choosing their football teams, and like everyone was choosing, you know, Liverpool, Man United, and you know the big club. I just really loved the black and white kit that Newcastle had. So yeah, they were my team from then, and that was when they were like in the second division, kind of banging in goals left, right, and centre. And yeah, once you choose your team, you can't really go back after that, can you? You know, you're stuck for life.
And you just mentioned growing up, it was just a choice of, you know, picking Newcastle because of their club colours. Who were your childhood heroes growing up?
My childhood hero, I used to play a lot of football when I was a kid, and I used to base my game around David Batty. So I just used to like get stuck in and do some questionable challenges. I think that would be the best way to put it.
And I think it's no secret that the past 15 years as a Newcastle fan have been pretty turbulent, to say the least. What has that been like as a fan to follow?
I mean, it's been pretty bleak, to be honest. It started off with a bit of hope, and it's just like over the years it just gradually got wilted away to nothing, and it was just quite a sad thing, like by the end of it, because it just felt like a club was just stagnating. You're seeing all the clubs around us who you kind of look at, you know, you're looking at like Leicester, for example, and you see what they've done with the club and how they've grown and the infrastructure that they put there, and you just thought that was going to happen with Newcastle, and it just never did. So yeah, hopefully this will be the start of a wonderful new era.
And if we look at this season in particular, do you think it will just be a case of staying up because they have struggled?
I mean, I don't think we're going to really be knocking on Europe this season exactly, are we? But if we could just get some stability in the squad, get everyone playing, get everyone's confidence back, I think that's the main thing. I think would be to really just instill some confidence in the players, because it's not a bad squad at all. There's some really great players in there. It's just getting them playing as a unit, and you know, hopefully not having to rely on ASM for the whole season, and Wilson's goals. You know, it's like if we could actually get the whole team playing and share the load a little bit, it might be a bit more fruitful. Hopefully Eddie Howe coming in and knowing some of the players in the squad, hopefully that'll galvanise everyone to kick on a little bit, really.
And do you think that January window will provide a bit of time of opportunity for a bit of ambition?
I got a feeling, well, they've already said that they're going to spend, it wasn't in the plan to spend in January, but they're going to be spending quite big, so hopefully it will just be quite an exciting time for us, and hopefully they'll spend wisely and not just, you know, throw money away at players who might not be able to hit the ground running, because I think that's what we're going to need when it actually comes to it, is players who know how to get us out of that situation.
Yeah, who would you look to sign if you were in their shoes? Who would be most attractive to you?
I think we kind of need to work on the defence, really. So someone with a bit of Premier League experience to like help out, just shore up the back line, really. I mean, who I would love is Yuri Tielemans. To be honest, I absolutely love that man. He is a great player, but I don't think he's going to be leaving anytime soon, is he?
And the era you were speaking about as a kid, there was a lot of players that were purely there to just completely outscore opponents. Do you think that would be a similar dynamic now? Do you think that'll still be a priority?
I mean, it would be great, wouldn't it? You know, just all out attack and just not, you know, defence comes second. But I think, you know, the game's changed a lot since those days, and And it's a very astute tactical game now, so I don't think that there'll be that gung-ho approach anymore, sadly.
And if we focus on the Bees in particular, what has your opinion been of Brentford this season so far?
I mean, I was delighted when you guys finally got out of the Championship, because you've done everything like very well, and played attractive football and been a really great side. So yeah, hopefully, like it's just a short wobble at the moment for you, and you can get back to winning ways, but not on Saturday, of course. Not after Saturday, We need a win, we can do with a win first,
We need it, yeah.
You've got 4, you guys are flying, it's fine.
Get greedy now, really, it's all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, not many people like doing this because it comes as a curse sometimes, but what do you think the score's looking like on Saturday? I think personally there'll be quite a few goals.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, that's, I could see it being a drab 0-0 after all this talk up, but I don't know. I just really hope that Ivan Toney doesn't score against us to bite us. He's a great player. It's a shame to see him go, to be honest. And there was, but it's I think it'll be 1-1, maybe 2-1 to Newcastle.
You mentioned that you don't think Newcastle will go to Europe this year, but in the hopes that they do, how about a gig at St James's Park with Sam Fender? If I get it organised for you.
I mean, if you could organise like that, would be wonderful. Because I've met Sam a couple of times. He's a lovely, lovely chap.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And on the topic of touring, you've just got back from a stint in America. How was that for you?
It was, it's probably the best tour we've ever done, I think. It was genuinely amazing. Like, the crowds were amazing, shows were great. We're getting on really, we're looking after it ourselves, being very mindful of each other. It's been, really quite magic.
And your album was released last week, your 4th album, Crawler.
Yes.
What's that going to be like for you after having those songs in the studio for so long? Now that you can finally, play them in front of thousands of people after you've been working on them for such a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think this album's a bit of a different beast, and it's been an amazing process to write and record this record. So to be able to play it for people, it's really gonna, it's gonna make us very, very happy, and hopefully the crowd will appreciate the new songs as well.
Well, what I'll do is I'll give Sam Fender a bell today, see if he's up for it. Get it organised, send you the invite.
I love that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for talking to me. And
thank you, Karleigh.
Good luck for the weekend.
Yeah, well, good luck to you too, but not too much good luck,
Just a little bit.
Love that, Tali. Idol's new album, Crawler, came out last Friday. Make sure you download it, buy it wherever you get your music from. It is honestly an absolute masterpiece. That's their 4th album. Every single one is superb. Don't just take my word for it, go listen. Right, lads, Eddie Howe's first game. Karleigh's just kind of broken that down over there. The natural worry is, oh dear, this is a manager's first game in charge of a club. New manager bounce. Is that really a thing in the changing room? When you've been in change rooms and a new manager's come in, do you feel a lift? Does it galvanise the group?
It depends where you are with the previous manager and your sort of form that you had with that manager as well. So there's going to be some players that are going to be lifted by it. There's going to be some that may be disappointed by it to a certain degree because they was in the team with the previous manager, and a new one coming in may take them out of it. So it's a bit of both. And players have to just get up for it for the game, because look, you're a professional, you're there to play, no matter what the manager is, or if you like him or not, you're there to play.
It's an interesting one, this first game manager bounce, and me and JB, sometimes we actually do some research, and me and JB actually had a little look, and here's what we found. Here are the current Premier League managers and their first results in charge of the clubs. Obviously we've not included Eddie Howe, Dean Smith or Steven Gerrard, because they've not played a game yet, but if you look at this, there's a lot of games on your screen right now, but when you break it down, actually, of those 17 managers, 8 won their first game, 6 lost and 3 drew. So, turns out that myth of managers always win their first game is basically a load of rubbish, which is another reason to be positive going into this weekend, right? And then we did some more research. Here's Eddie Howe's first 3 games in charge of the clubs that he's managed before, obviously 2 spells at Bournemouth. So that first spell at Bournemouth as caretaker manager, he lost his first game to Darlington. Burnley, he drew 0-0 with Scunthorpe, and then the second spell he won against Tranmere. So 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 win. Next time someone says to you, new managers always win their first game, ask them what flavour ice cream they want with their absolute waffle that they're talking. So boys, let's look at the game. What do you think we've got in store regarding Saturday's game?
Well, we've got to start the first half pretty well. I think the last 2 performances have been quite poor at our standards, and we've let ourselves down. So I think that's the first step we need to correct, is to start the game well. When the whistle blows, we've got a point on the board, and we can't forget that.
Yeah.
And can we build from that point is the next question. So it's handling that pressure, and I'm sure we can succeed.
Karleigh, Dev spoke to Tyler about this a bit, about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
On Saturday. Obviously, it's going to be rocking because it's Eddie Howe's first game. I know the Spurs game is the new era, but this feels like another. Do you see what I mean? It's the second time, and this is the real new era now that Eddie Howe's there. How do we play that? Does that affect anything? Do you try and keep them quiet for the first 20, or is it a case of let's try and shut them up early and try and get a goal early, and then everyone goes. Because that's what kind of Spurs. Do you know what I mean? Spurs went 1-0 down really early, and it was like it just added to the atmosphere. So how do you play it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's going to be huge. Newcastle Stadium is fantastic, and their fans are going to be obviously buzzing. Me personally, I'd want to silence them as quick as possible. And also, if Brentford start well, and they do need to start fast, it's something that Brentford do need to do. If they do start well, I think the Newcastle fans could turn pretty quickly as well. Because they'll be expecting big things straight from the off. They've already kind of been frustrated with the period before. They'll be expecting to see something new, a lot more energy, things like that. If they don't get that, I can see them turning pretty quickly on their team, and I think that could play in Brentford's favour.
I don't think you can shut the fans up there anyway.
You've played up there, anyway.
Whether they win or lose or not playing well, the fans are still quite vocal in their feelings. So that's something to deal with, but it can be dealt with.
Well, you don't want what happened in that Spurs game. I know, look, Spurs turned it around, but Newcastle scored that early goal, and you could have gone, oh, Spurs are in a bit of trouble here. But look, what are you feeling though, result-wise? What are we saying?
Tough game again. It's a hard one to call because I think both coaches want to go in. Both coaches have a little bit of pressure at different ends of it. Thomas has to bounce back with the team. Eddie wants a good start, so it's who can control those emotions and nerves and get across the line. So I would think both teams will score. I'm going to go for a Brentford 2-1.
When you talk about Thomas pressure, it's not him personally, it's as a group.
Yeah, just a collective
as a
group, like
the
losses, but we can turn that around. I think this is a perfect game to turn it around. Going to a huge stadium, got a great following with the fans going up there. Everything to be so focused and positive about. So I'm looking for a 2-1.
Would you have a result there, Karleigh, and me?
Yeah, we are. We need to get one, and we need to be ready for what's about to come.
Yeah.
I'm a bit like Marcus. It is very hard to call, but I think I'm going to go for a 1-0 to Brentford. Yeah, I think it's going to.
Glad you said to Brentford.
Yes, of course, to Brentford. I think it could be one of those where I think there'll be a lot of chances, but it never quite happens, and I think something will happen right at the end of the game, and I think Brentford will nick it.
Another open game, I feel.
Yeah.
It's going to be end to end. They're going to come at it. They're not going to sit back and think, Brentford are going to scare us. I think we can scare them because we've done that to all the teams so far. But yeah, a very open game, plenty of chances, but I still think the scoreline's going to be a marginal one.
Yeah, love it. Lots to be positive about. And that's it for this week. For those of you that are heading up to St James's Park, safe journey to you all. Come on, bees, let's get back on track. You Reds!